Kia ora, good evening, welcome to Central News for Friday the 7th of March. I'm Hilary Entwistle. There's a new shop in Hamilton that is making a big name for itself with little sweet delicacies. The Girl on a Swing has been open in Chartwell since January, and as owner Ange Jones explains, the popularity of the cupcakes, cakes and fudge took them by surprise.
It definitely took us by surprise. It was a nice surprise though. We knew that we would be busy, but we never imagined that in 57 days we'd go from 8 staff to 17. And there was a freak out moment the day before opening when I said to my sister, "What happens if nobody comes?" And Janine said to me, "They will come." And they've been coming, and it's great, and we really appreciate all the feedback and the support from our swingers. It's just totally amazing.
Well, Bay of Plenty farmers are enjoying a heavenly summer weather-wise. Those in the Waikato and South Auckland haven't been so fortunate. Bay farmers are keeping a watchful eye on what's happening to their near neighbours, as fears mount farmers may be facing yet another drought due to lack of rain, warm temperatures and drying winds. Some rivers and streams are at or near record low flows for this time of year. Warm temperatures and stronger winds are drying out soils. Water use and fire restrictions are in place. In the face of continuing fine weather, Waikato Regional Council and stakeholders are stepping up discussions on how they might work together if the situation carries on. They made the trophy and have won it every year since, but the Omanu Masters Surf Lifesaving team had to fight for every point to retain it at the New Zealand Championships at Hohopi Beach. The Tauranga Club collected its 10th straight title, amassing 241 points during the day-long competition, featuring athletes from 30 to 85 years old, the prelude to today's National Open Championships. Omanu stalwart Ian Glover, who took out the men's 60 to 69 age group, proudly held aloft the Porton Resuscitator Trophy his club donated for the Masters competition years ago, praising the way both his club and Mount Maunganui fought. The Bay of Plenty Rugby Union is over the next few weeks going to be rolling out an initiative aimed to improve the sideline environment on fields across the Bay of Plenty. The message "For our game to grow, abuse must go" has come about through the Code of Responsibility signed by rugby clubs, which includes improving sideline behaviour. The union says aggressive and loud spectators on the sideline embarrasses the players, and no one likes to hear abuse towards the coach or referee. The initiative is aiming to make the game more enjoyable for not only the players but everyone involved on game day. Now for our region's marine forecast for the weekend. Saturday, West Coast, you will have a southwest 15 knots. Your high tide will be 4:16 p.m. East Coast on Saturday, westerly 10 knots but variable 5 knots east of Motiti Island, becoming northwest 15 knots everywhere in the afternoon, changing southwest 15 knots in the evening, then easing to 10 knots at night. Let's say she is variable out there. Your high tide in Tauranga is 37 past 1 in the afternoon. West Coast Sunday, the southwest changes to a southeast and remains 15 knots. High tide in Raglan is 17 past 5 p.m. East Coast on Sunday in the Bay of Plenty becoming northeast 10 knots in the morning, and it's going to be a fine day. Your high tide in Tauranga is 2:26 p.m. Just ahead, the Italian festival. Welcome to Central News. If you have a love for good Italian food, wine and all things Italian, you won't want to miss the Hamilton Italian Festival this Sunday, March the 9th at Hamilton Gardens. Vice President of the Circolo Italiano of Hamilton, Beppe Carazzoni, spoke with Anne-Marie about the festival and the club.
Beppe, welcome to Central News. Tell me about the Circolo Italiano of Hamilton. How often do you meet?
We try to meet every month with a potluck lunch. That is a way to share the food together and to bring the secret recipes, the family recipes, and keep the tradition going. And it's open to everyone.
So you don't have to be Italian to join?
No, absolutely. That's you just need to of course, be fluent in Italian. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, you just need to like Italy. Maybe you're planning a trip to Italy. You just come back from Italy. You want to know more about Italy. That's enough for us. Just come and join us.
You're expanding your presence within the Hamilton community with the Hamilton Italian Festival at the Hamilton Gardens this Sunday. Tell me about that.
It's going to be a huge event where we celebrate. I'm going to celebrate all the Italian things. Just briefly, last year we were overwhelmed by the numbers of people. That were over 2,500 people.
Wow.
Just for the first one, with a really low or no budget. This year we have some sponsors that they come on board, and now we were able to make this festival bigger and better. And it's going to be for long hours, because it's going to be from 11 to 7 o'clock in the evening. And surprise, surprise, we are going to have an Italian dinner.
Of course, it's all about the food, and you can buy tickets for that Italian dinner, can't you?
Yes, the tickets are on sale on Event Finder, and it's going to be an authentic Italian dinner with starters, mains, desserts, and everything.
Can families go to that? Or
Of course, because the other things that I like to repeat myself is going to be a free event.
Yes.
And we like that the food is the prices of the food. They are going to be really, really affordable. So just to let you know, the dinner it's $40 and $20 for the kids.
The Hamilton Italian Festival is on Sunday, March the 9th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Hamilton Gardens. Most of us would agree there is a need for healthy, affordable housing in New Zealand, but Habitat for Humanity goes one step further by building, selling or renovating simple, decent homes on an affordable basis for those who are in need. It is all volunteer-based. So what makes a typical Habitat volunteer?
Good question. Can be somebody who's out of work. Can be somebody rather who is in work but has some skill to bring in the way of a hammerhand. It can be a professional man who just wants to do something at the lower end of the socio-economic scale and help a bit. It can be virtually anyone. Anybody that's got some time, mature enough to help out, must be over the age of, I think it's 14 to be on the site. And we're always willing and waiting for volunteers to come to us.
You do have a professional builder on site, and there's so many volunteers though. I mean, how do you coordinate it?
Yeah, we rely very much on the skill of that professional builder. He usually separates them into the task areas that they're going to attack. Like some who may think they're going to be helping direct a two-storey house find themselves on fencing, and maybe to their disappointment. And the sites are always very well organised, I can tell you that. They may look like a shambles with people in strange clothes running in all directions to do things, but there's a controlling thought in all of that. And we're very lucky. We've got a tremendous organiser in that role.
Whoever is lucky enough to move into the house, is it their house straight away?
No, good thought. Each family is required to do 500 hours of labour on the house. If not on their house, then on another Habitat house. And that's something that we stick by almost rigorously, because it's their way of earning their way in the Habitat system, showing that they've really got a determination to do what's necessary to help themselves. I think that's one of the underpinning things of the whole Habitat system. In a way, it's a do-it-yourself system, in that you participate with Habitat in what we call it as a partnership, and as partners we bring that house to completion, and then they take it over for a 5-year period as a tenant, and at the end of the 5-year period we sort out with them just how they can buy the house from us.
You can email the Tauranga Division if you have some way that you can help out at tauranga@habitat.org.nz. Coming up later, your weather for the weekend, but up next, drought in the Waikato. Welcome back. With no significant rainfall since January, the Waikato region is no longer made up of lush green pastures. Federated Farmers Waikato Provincial President James Houghton spoke with Anne-Marie last week about how farmers need to plan for summer feeding just as much as winter.
James, welcome to Central News. It's pretty dry in the Waikato at the moment, out the back of Morrinsville, Whitikahu Road, even driving to Matamata. It's pretty brown. What factors are taken into consideration when declaring a drought?
A committee usually is set up and they look at first what the weather conditions are doing, how much soil moisture deficit we currently have, how widespread it is across the region, and then also other factors like people's ability to financially endure a drought and the availability of other feed supplement resources, and just really the state of the economy and the community.
A drought can be declared at a regional level, can't it?
It usually is declared region by region, but different people can declare droughts from my understanding. So we're just people at the moment are just, we're all trying to gauge the situation, having a little look at comparison to last year, what happened last year, and I know it seems quite bad that we're having 2 in a row, but we had a look back. We'll have a look back and see how we compare to last year and how widespread it is, and progress with the information as it comes to hand.
Are there clearly defined boundaries and symptoms that indicate a drought, or is it more an agreement or a consensus?
It comes to more. I think it does come more to a consensus, and that's what I mean. It's about the community, people from leaders from the community working together and coming to that consensus. A drought the declaration of a drought doesn't really offer great financial reward or handouts or anything. It just puts in place a few measures to support people that are struggling in the community.
Mm-hmm. If we look at the Waikato region specifically, how bad is it out there?
Some areas, from what I'm hearing, have had less than 10 mil since Christmas. And on my own farm, I've had about 25. So, the paddocks are brown, and my stock are all heavily supplemented at the moment just to keep them happy.
Last year's drought was severe, covering the whole of the North Island. This year, is there feed available from other areas?
From what I'm hearing is, like I heard the other day, Bay of Plenty got some in the vicinity of some areas got 60 to 100 mils, so they will be in quite a good situation. The Hawke's Bay, I've heard, have actually had a lot more rain than normal, and they've got a lot less stock, and they're actually in almost the opposite situation where they're struggling to eat the feed in some places in the Hawke's Bay. So, and the King Country hasn't been too bad. Parts of Northland are dry, but other parts have had good rain. So it is a lot more localised this year, within just really covering the Waikato region and part of Northland.
Let's hope for some rain soon. The Hauora Service for the Hauraki, Te Korowai Hauora or Hauraki, is implementing a survey to find out where the needs are for their community. I spoke with them earlier in the week. Now, you guys are starting, let's start with the beginning of the organisation. Hauraki is a healthy nation. How do you go about implementing that?
We want to achieve wellness for all the people of Hauraki, Māori, non-Māori. We want to see our children being vibrant, our caregivers feeling that they're contributing to Hauraki, and we want to see our kuia karaua feeling safe and supported within Hauraki Rohe. In order to do that, the things that we would be looking at are based around the social determinants. So we're talking about the economic imperatives, the social imperatives, the cultural imperatives. I think that's really important. And other imperatives that will provide a sustainable future for the people of Hauraki.
Now, you're currently carrying out a survey, so can you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, we are doing a needs assessment. It's a larger survey than we would normally carry out. The last survey we did was almost 20 years ago now, so it's well overdue. We are looking at, as John said, at the social determinants. So we're looking, a big focus for us is obviously health, but we believe there's a lot of things that impact on people's health, and therefore we're looking at areas like cultural needs, we're looking at employment needs and economic needs, but mainly we're also looking at aspirational goals for the people of Hauraki. So where is it they would like to be? So we feel it's the right time for us to put a needs assessment in place, and it will help us look forward in the way that we plan our business, but also how we can influence others to make sure that we have the services in place and match the needs of the people that we have in front of us.
And is there aspirational goals just around health or in all areas of life?
We would like to think it's in all areas of life because no one aspiration works alone. So we're really keen to see people have aspirational goals. It's so easy when life's got a little harder to lose some of your aspirations, and I think we want to see that injected back into the people, and we need to find where is their aspirations so that we can support them in that going forward.
To find out about the survey or any of the services they provide, you can visit their website, korowai.co.nz. Coming up next, your weather and the Plunket Appeal. Welcome back to Central News. Don't be surprised if you see a big blue bear on the streets in the town this month. He's the face of Plunket's fundraiser, the Bear Hug Appeal. Waikato Area Manager for Plunket, Sue Hardley, spoke with Anne-Marie recently about bear hugs and the need for volunteers.
Sue, welcome to Central News. Plunket Appeal Month, and it's all about bear hugs. Tell me about the Bear Hug Appeal.
The Bear Hug Appeal is about bringing together the concept of our service that embraces families in a wraparound service. And we would like members of the community to embrace us and embrace our families and donate to Plunket to support the services that our volunteers supply.
Why a bear hug?
A bear hug, I think it relates back to children. You think of fluffy toys with children, and yeah, it's just something a bit fun as well that we can base activities on. Teddy bear picnics and things like that are very easy to organise.
And the Chiefs rugby team, of course, they're big supporters of Plunket.
Oh, yes.
Would one be lucky enough to get a hug from a Chiefs member?
Well, definitely in Centre Place last year, we had a lot of people very happy to get a hug from Richard Kahui as they donated money.
Crikey, that's worth a couple of dollars donation, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we got a little bit more at some stages.
Is that going to be happening again this year?
I understand that the Chiefs are supporting again, yes, and we're definitely having collections at games in Waikato for 2 games over the March period.
You've got a mascot, his name is Big Blue,
yes.
And this is the
is the tiny version.
The little version. It's absolutely beautiful. Yes. He's very snuggly. Are the costumes going to be out and about as well? People are going to be able to see how to donate, aren't they?
We will see. We will have our bucket shakers, we have bear ears, we have Plunket emblazoned on little jackets that people will be wearing, and people will certainly have banners and all sorts around.
What happens to the money raised? Does it stay locally?
The money definitely stays locally, and we're very passionate about making sure that happens. We fund services right across the Waikato for parenting education, coffee groups, play groups, all those support things that wrap around our parents. Yeah.
We read too often about SIFs having to get involved and children being abused or neglected or, at its worst, killed. Are SIFs the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff? Would government funding be better off being more into Plunket so we don't have to do so much fundraising?
Yeah, we are lucky as an organisation that the Ministry of Health and the government acknowledge the work we do, and in doing so have maintained our level of funding at a time when a lot of organisations are having their funding cut. So while the clinical services are funded in that way, what our volunteers do is really important in the other services for families that wrap around our iconic Plunket nurses, because that's what people think of when they think of Plunket. And that's where the community, we really need community to step forward and support their own areas. And at a time when a lot of the big funders are actually finding that with the recessions and things, that there's a bit of a drying up of the funding streams.
Sue, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
If you'd like to get involved with volunteering for Plunket, go to plunket.org.nz. Right, let's take a look at the weather for the weekend now. Hamilton, your Saturday will be fine with a southwesterly wind. Your expected high is 24 and an overnight low of 10. Paeroa, you're mainly fine with some evening cloud for your Saturday. Your expected high is 25 and 10 for your low. Matamata, mainly fine with 22 and 10. Te Awamutu and Tokoroa, mainly fine with evening cloud. Te Awamutu 24 and 10 and Tokoroa 22 and 7. The Bay of Plenty, both areas the same. Tauranga, your Saturday will be fine with a southwesterly wind. Your expected high is 25 and an overnight low of 13. Te Puke, your expected high is 23 and 11. Now for Sunday, Hamilton, sunny spells with a chance of an afternoon shower. Your expected high is 26 and an overnight low of 12. Paeroa, the same for you, 25 and 12. Te Awamutu and Tokoroa fine, apart from isolated afternoon, evening or showers inland, light winds. Your expected high is 26 and 12, Te Awamutu, and Tokoroa, you will have 23 and 10. Tauranga and Te Puke, you are the same with a southwesterly. Your expected high is 23 and an overnight low of 14 for you, Tauranga, and 13 for you, Te Puke. That's Central News for today and this week. Make sure you tune in next week as Anne-Marie checks out the cupcake business driving the sweet tooths of Hamilton crazy. You can email us at news@tvcentral.co.nz or like us on our Facebook page. Let us know about any of your own stories. I'm Hilary Entwistle. I hope you have a lovely evening and a fantastic weekend.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.